Welcome to History Recapped. Today we embark on a journey through the 10 most defining moments in human history. Moments that fundamentally changed our world, shaped civilizations, and altered the trajectory of humanity. These events are not just historical footnotes, they are the turning points that built the world we live in today. Join us for this in-depth exploration of the moments that shaped mankind. 1. The Agricultural Revolution, around 10,000 BCE. Our story begins with the Agricultural Revolution, often referred to as the Neolithic Revolution. Before this period, humans lived as hunter-gatherers, moving from place to place in search of food. Their survival depended on the cycles of nature and the availability of wild plants and animals. Around 10,000 BCE in regions like Mesopotamia, humans began to domesticate plants and animals. They started farming wheat, barley and rice, and raising sheep, goats, and cattle. This shift from nomadic life to settled communities revolutionized human existence. It allowed for permanent settlements, surplus food production, and population growth. With farming came the rise of villages, towns, and eventually complex societies. The ability to store surplus food led to the development of trade, specialization of labor, and social hierarchies. People could now focus on activities beyond mere survival, such as craftsmanship, art, and governance. The agricultural revolution laid the groundwork for organized religion, as societies began to construct temples and engage in ritual practices tied to the land and harvest cycles. It was the starting point of human civilization, and without it the world as we know it would not exist. Next, we move to the invention of writing, one of humanity's greatest achievements. Writing systems first appeared in Mesopotamia with cuneiform, followed by hieroglyphics in Egypt. These early scripts were initially used for keeping records, such as tracking crops, recording transactions, and listing taxes. Writing transformed human society. It allowed for the recording of laws, trade transactions, religious texts, and historical events. It preserved knowledge across generations, enabling civilizations to advance. Legal systems like Hammurabi's Code could now be written down and enforced consistently. Sacred texts could be transcribed, ensuring the continuity of religious traditions. Through writing, ideas, literature, and culture were immortalized. Great works like the Epic of Gilgamesh, the oldest known story, could be passed down. Governments and empires relied on scribes to manage administration, tax systems, and diplomacy. Without writing, there would be no history as we know it. Our third defining moment is the birth of democracy in ancient Athens. In 508 BCE, the Athenian leader Cleisthenes introduced a radical political system where citizens could vote on decisions. This was a dramatic shift from the monarchies and oligarchies that had previously dominated human governance. This was revolutionary. For the first time in history, ordinary people had a say in governance. Citizens could gather in assemblies, propose laws, debate policy, and hold leaders accountable. Although Athenian democracy was limited to free male citizens and excluded women, slaves, and foreigners, the idea of rule by the people was born. Today, democracy remains a cornerstone of modern governance, influencing nations worldwide. The ideals of participation, equality before the law, and civic duty echo through time, shaping constitutions and inspiring revolutions. Whether one views it through a religious or historical lens, the life and teachings of Jesus Christ profoundly changed human history. Born in the Roman province of Judea, Jesus preached messages of love, forgiveness, compassion, and salvation. His teachings emphasized the dignity of the individual, the importance of caring for the poor and marginalized, and the concept of eternal life. His crucifixion and the subsequent spread of Christianity reshaped spiritual beliefs across continents. Early Christian communities formed under persecution, but the message of Jesus persisted. Over centuries, Christianity grew from a small sect into one of the world's largest religions, influencing art, culture, politics, and ethics in both the Western and Eastern worlds. Christianity inspired the construction of cathedrals, the development of universities, and the writing of countless theological works. It played a central role in medieval Europe, the Renaissance, and even modern concepts of charity and social welfare. The fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 CE marked the end of ancient Rome and the beginning of the Middle Ages. Rome had been the dominant power in Europe for centuries, uniting vast territories under a single political and legal system. Its fall led to a fragmentation of authority. The collapse of Rome resulted in a power vacuum. Europe split into smaller kingdoms, tribal territories, and feudal systems. Trade networks declined, cities shrank, and literacy rates fell. However, Roman cultural and legal influences persisted, carried forward by the Byzantine Empire in the east and by the Catholic Church in the west. The fall of Rome set the stage for the medieval world, with the rise of knights, castles, and feudal lords. It also paved the way for the eventual Renaissance, when scholars rediscovered Roman texts and ideas. The echoes of Rome's fall still resonate today in discussions about the rise and fall of civilizations. The invention of the printing press, 1440 CE. In the 15th century, Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press, revolutionizing the spread of information. Before this invention, books were copied by hand, a painstaking process that made them rare and expensive. Only monasteries and the wealthy elite had access to books. The printing press allowed for the mass production of books, making knowledge accessible to ordinary people. One of the first major works printed was the Gutenberg Bible. The invention fueled the Renaissance as classical texts and new ideas spread rapidly across Europe. It also played a crucial role in the Protestant Reformation, enabling Martin Luther's 95 Theses to circulate widely, challenging the Catholic Church's authority. The scientific revolution gained momentum as scientific discoveries were published and shared globally. The printing press democratized knowledge, transforming education, religion, and culture forever. The Industrial Revolution, 18th to 19th century. The Industrial Revolution was one of the most profound shifts in human history. Beginning in Britain in the late 18th century, it introduced mechanized production, steam engines, and new technologies that fundamentally changed how societies functioned. Factories replaced hand production, leading to mass manufacturing and the rise of capitalist economies. Cities expanded rapidly as people moved from rural areas to urban centers in search of work. Transportation and communication improved dramatically with the invention of railroads, steamships, and the telegraph. The Industrial Revolution spurred innovations in medicine, engineering, and agriculture. It also brought social upheaval, including harsh factory conditions, child labor, and environmental pollution. Yet, it laid the groundwork for the modern industrialized world, creating unprecedented economic growth and technological advancement. After the horrors of World War II, the world came together to affirm the inherent dignity of all human beings. In 1948, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted by the United Nations. This document established fundamental rights and freedoms for everyone, regardless of race, gender, nationality, or religion. It declared that all humans are born free and equal in dignity and rights, setting a new global standard for human rights. The Declaration became the foundation for international human rights law. It inspired movements for civil rights, gender equality, and the fight against colonialism and apartheid. It continues to serve as a beacon for justice and fairness worldwide, influencing constitutions and legal systems across the globe. In 1969, humanity achieved what once seemed impossible. NASA's Apollo 11 mission landed astronauts on the moon. Neil Armstrong became the first person to walk on the lunar surface, uttering the famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." The moon landing symbolized human ingenuity, exploration, and the Cold War space race. It pushed technological boundaries, leading to advances in computing, material science, and telecommunications. Beyond its political significance, the moon landing inspired generations to dream beyond Earth. It marked the beginning of space exploration, eventually leading to satellites, space stations, and probes exploring the far reaches of the solar system. It challenged humanity to look beyond its home planet and imagine the possibilities of interstellar discovery. Finally, we arrive at the digital revolution, an ongoing transformation that has reshaped nearly every aspect of human life. With the invention of computers, the internet and smartphones, information became instant and global. Social media, artificial intelligence, and digital communication are now central to our existence. The digital revolution has accelerated globalization, enabling people from different continents to collaborate, share ideas, and engage in commerce in real time. It has also raised new challenges, including concerns over privacy, cybersecurity, misinformation, and the ethical implications of AI. Despite these issues, the digital revolution has connected the world like never before, changing how we work, learn, and interact. It continues to evolve, shaping the future of humanity in profound and unpredictable ways. These 10 moments, the agricultural revolution, the invention of writing, the birth of democracy, the life of Jesus Christ, the fall of Rome, the printing press, the Industrial Revolution, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the moon landing, and the digital revolution are some of the most defining events in human history. Each moment shaped who we are today. They remind us of our capacity for innovation, resilience, and progress, but also of our struggles and challenges. They show how human curiosity, ambition, and determination can change the world. Thank you for watching History Recapped. If you enjoyed this journey through time, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on which historical event you think is the most important. Until next time, keep learning and keep history alive.